Welcome to Elevator Pitch,
Elevator pitch.
the board game we have designed to be able to bash the startup culture mainly, but also to have a lot of fun in the meantime.
Well, bashing startups is really fun, isn't it?
Well, that's what I think, but yeah, most startup founders probably wouldn't agree with me. But this is
Tell them.
this is unfortunately not the game for them, most probably. So I wanted to start by roughly explaining what all this mess you see in front of you is about, and introducing you to this very complicated game step by step, basically.
Well, it definitely looks complicated, but also exciting. There's a lot of really nicely made materials in here. And I don't say that because I made them.
Well,
We're very proud of the game, okay?
Yes. In any case, first of all, you'll want to know how many players you're playing the game with. That's always...
Yes, that always helps because if you don't know who you're playing with, maybe you need to check your own mental state. Anyways.
Something that you have to check. In any case, if you're playing with an even number of players, you'll want to use this wooden card wheel, and otherwise you'll want to use the one with the odd number of players. So, say we wanted to play with 7 players.
So I'll discard the rest.
Where's the part over here?
Let me find it.
Sorry, not as well planned as one could have imagined.
Here
Sorry,
we go.
there we are. Sorry.
Right round like a record. Right round.
Oh my god. Wait, let's help people see what we're doing. It's always a first step. There we are.
So that helps
Exactly.
figure out the role for each player on
And
every turn.
Players should make sure that they pick the color they want to play with.
So we have our meeples, right? To do
Yeah.
that.
I want to start as the first founder with pink.
Okay, I think we should just place this here because we're gonna need some space later.
Yeah.
Rita chose pink. I want to be an investor because, you know, people should come to me and ask for money. So I will choose green. And then every other player, I guess.
Put it here, pick it up, their meeples are the same, the corresponding color.
And as soon as people have picked their color, they will want to have their voting ballots. We have taken the number 5 out of it, but you can play with up to 5 founders, and that's why you have up to 5 voting ballots, each with a number ranging from 1 to 5. Basically.
Exactly. And as you can see, the ballots match the meeple colors and the colors in the disc. Everything matches.
That's right. I'll keep my pink ballots here.
I will keep
this
green.
And the other ones we can place here around the cartwheel, so that we can vote randomly, which shouldn't be the case when we do this properly, but yeah. This would be the scoring board, not very pretty right now, but we are looking forward to improving the game material at some point or the other. As you can see, we would want to start at the start square.
Yeah, everybody
Here,
starts
right
at the
in
start
the middle,
square.
because we like to do things originally around here. Okay, there we are, more or less.
Great. And we use the scoreboard to count points, but that will come in a bit.
Yeah.
So for now, everybody starts on the same place. Good. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about the board. We have our wheel, and then on the wheel we have 2 different roles. People can see founders in green and investors in blue. So maybe we should talk a little bit about what founder and investor means. You want to explain that?
That's important. So investors are exactly what investors mean. No, just kidding.
Green, investor, this one.
In the sense that they'll want to invest in founders and make sure that the founders they invest in are reliable founders, honest ones.
Wait, but when you're saying reliable founders, does that imply that there's another option?
Yes, there is, in fact.
This sounds like my cup of tea.
There are founders which we're going to call crooks, which are unreliable founders. And
I know a couple of those, I think.
Which will be dealt a different set of cards. So reliable founders will be dealt 2 question cards from the cards that you can find over here, the yellow ones. And crooks will be dealt 1 question card and a crook card, which are the ones that are painted as beautifully as you can see over here.
We're real artists.
Yes.
I'm proud of it.
Very much so. In any case, what we'll want to do first is choose product cards because
Wait. So product
sorry.
cards, founders, question cards, but we
Yeah.
haven't talked about pitching.
It's too much. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Let's rewind.
Let's rewind.
Okay, so remember we had investors and founders, and there's two
Yes.
types of founders, the reliable ones and the crooks, but then founders all want to get money from investors.
Yes, that's right.
And then investors are not just going to give the money away, right? They need to be convinced.
Yeah, more or less. Like, they are not that hard to convince in this particular way.
Well, in reality, I've seen some crazy investments as well.
So, founders will have up to 1.5 minutes to make their pitch.
Okay,
And
what's a
they-
pitch?
A pitch is just a startup idea, whatever they can say that makes some kind of sense in 1.5 minutes, basically. That's the whole idea.
So somebody's going to invest in a 1.5 minute idea?
Yes, it's based on reality, actually. It's a true story.
I'm sure it is, sadly. Anyways, so how does this pitching thing exactly works? How does it look like?
They will have to pick a product card. They
Those look beautiful as well.
Oh, I know.
Even more fancy art. It's amazing.
They look more or less like these, you can see over here. And once they've picked a product card, they will have to basically lose their startup idea both on their product card and on the question cards they are dealt. 2 in case they're reliable, and 1 in case they're a crook.
Okay, so they need to match these abstract-looking pictures.
Well, match is a very big word. They have
Loosely
to
match?
kind of interpret.
Kind of, somewhat, maybe.
There you go.
Okay.
That's the whole point of the game.
How many drives are involved in the game?
As many as you want to involve.
Okay.
Regardless.
That sounds fun.
No. we want people to understand what's going on, right? So
Okay.
I'm gonna just
Let's do a bit more formal
give it
then.
to you. No, just kidding. Give it to you.
Okay,
Explain.
so you may have noticed I'm the green player and I have the hat there.
Ah, yeah.
So
Important.
I'm there for the dealer and I need to take care of the card setup.
Okay.
Now this is a boring part of the video, but hopefully not as much. So as you saw, there's product cards, and maybe we should just pick the number that we would need for 7.
Exactly, which would be, since we have 4 founders, 1 product card more than the number of founders.
Okay.
And for the cards that we're going to deal, both investors and founders, it's also based on the number of founders. So for the question cards, it would be always 2 more than the number of founders, and product cards always 1 more. Let's kind of shuffle them around.
So I have shuffled the
Alright.
question cards, and from
Not
here,
doing the best job, but yeah, sorry.
sorry, from here on, I need to make sure that nobody sees the questions that I'm shuffling, right? So I take 6 in this case because we have 4 founders plus 2, that's 6.
4, 5, and 6.
And you will notice that there's 2 question cards on each sleeve. It's the same question twice, and in a second we'll see why. So I take out 1 from each sleeve.
And you might at some point want to use a bigger table than the one we're using right now.
Probably if you're playing with real people and not just a camera.
Yeah. So it's advisable as well.
Okay, so I have 6 question cards. And I will see the investor cards, and Rita is playing as one of the founders.
Yeah.
So are we ready? No, we're not. Okay, crooks, right?
Yes. And we will want to have, with 4 founders, 1 crook card less than the number of founders. That would amount to 3. There we are. That should be enough.
Okay.
So
discard the
that
rest.
we can ensure that we'll always have at least 1 reliable founder in the game and 1 crook. And everyone should have a 50% chance of becoming either a reliable founder or a crook.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're going to do next, we'll want to have 2 stacks of cards. One with the copies of the cards that we're going to deal to investors.
So it's the same cards here and here.
There you are.
So now I took an extra 3 question cards from the big deck. Nobody has seen these questions. I discard the ones without sleeves.
Yeah.
And I mix the ones with sleeves. And remember, these question cards, the investors will not see. And we have the crook cards. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
So we end up with two stacks, one with the question cards the investors have seen, and one with crook cards and question cards that the investors have not seen.
Exactly. And I will give one from each pile to each founder.
Yeah, and
So
they
that-
should not pay very close attention to how you shuffle them, because founders, at least reliable ones, should know which of the two cards they end up with is the one that the investors are also seeing.
Okay, so there's your two cards. And then I would deal to the other founder. So founder number 2 would get cards. Founder number 3 would get cards.
And in the meantime, this amazing
Another piece of
yellow,
art.
yeah, I know. It's amazing yellow, whatever they're called, that we built, so that founders can place them in front of them, so that when the voting phase starts, people know who they're voting.
Yes,
So
we got this feedback a lot. People get very confused. Who was
Yeah.
founder 1? Who was founder 3?
Yeah,
So this is
exactly.
exactly what that's helping.
So since I'm founder number 1, sorry, I would place the number 1 thingy.
And these are the 6 unsleeved question cards that the investor would see. It's important to remind everybody that investors all see the same cards.
Yes.
So I would sit with my fellow investors and we would all look at the same cards.
Yeah.
And I think now we're ready for you to select a product.
Yeah. So let me see. I've not even watched my cards. Don't show me your cards.
Oops, yeah. Always keep cards away from everybody else.
Yeah.
It's important. Also, founders should
Regardless.
not show cards to other founders.
Of how much you would want to caress your neighbor, make sure you keep their cards away from them. Well, regardless.
There's been some history of cheating players in this game. And what we do is we throw them out of the window. So cheating is not encouraged. But if you cheat and don't get caught, that's fine.
I want this one over here.
Okay, so Rita chose her product card, and then
Oh, yeah.
every other founder,
Which is, choose one, and then try it.
an extra one that gets discarded.
Yeah.
So every founder now has product cards and question cards. Investors have the question cards. Remember, they have 6 question cards, and one of each of the ones that they have is in the hands of each of the founders. And now we get to pitching. I'm so excited.
So my idea in this particular case.
Wait.
Oh,
Timer.
sorry. Thank you very much for reminding me. It was not on purpose at all. My idea would be based on a random shuffler.
A random shuffler?
A random shuffler of already worn out imagery that is around in the world. We would just want to make sure that whatever thing in the outside world we can recognize, we can just reshuffle so as to make it more exciting and to allow for the machine that is fed all the data that chooses later on for us to not be constrained by real life and be able to see new observations. And
So it's a mixture between deep learning
it's
and Nightmare on Elm Street.
it's basically so it's,
Sounds scary as fuck.
it's really helpful to not feel constrained by the decisions the machine ends up making for you, so that you're always ending up being surprised one way.
I am definitely surprised.
And I feel like lately, all the time that I open YouTube, I get all the same videos that I've watched over and over already.
I can attest that we are on a loop.
So, with Rosalia, yes. Sorry, not a promotional video. Regardless.
But maybe a reaction.
So yeah, this would be an amazing product for that. For example,
So it would mix Rosalia with what?
I don't know. It's hard to think outside of Rosalia.
True. Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, we could get the foot of Nicki Minaj and put it in Rosalia's foot. I think she has already Nicki
Time's
Minaj.
up.
Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
there you go. You get the gist.
I get the gist. That was very interesting.
Nice.
I am not ready yet to make my decision because every other founder would have to do their pitch.
Yeah.
Fast forward. Everybody has made their pitch.
Yeah.
And now we get to voting. Because this is not only about investors, founders also want to fuck up each other or
Yes.
benefit from each other
Yes.
or whatever the politically
Whatever they
correct.
can do, they all want to do, regardless.
Uh-huh.
First, It's the voting phase for the founders. And
Yep.
what founders would be able to vote for is another founder, and more precisely, the other founder that they believe is going to receive investment from most of the investors, or that is going to be backed by the majority of the investors.
So then, let's say this is what
So-
founders would select.
Yeah, and I would want to select this one because here she did a wonderful job. I cannot get it out of my mind how well that was.
Yeah, you guys missed it, sorry. So now we see one vote per founder,
Yeah,
and now it's time for investors to deliberate.
yeah,
And now I would sit down and whisper, not actually whisper, we can talk out loud at
Yeah,
this point,
yeah.
discuss with the other investors, and would be like, yeah, you know, I really like the pitch from Grey Player. I thought that was very interesting, but I still don't think that person has two questions because, you know, I could find one that was very explicit, but nothing else. So I think that's a crook.
And why would you want to discuss with your other team members of the investment committee if you're all going to vote separately and you don't have to agree to be able to cast your vote?
Well, you know, it's optional, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
But we feel like it's an interesting twist of the game that you can both play for or against the other ones.
But is there any specific advantage to discussing?
Thank you for making that question. So yes, there is an advantage of investing alone as an investor because, well, we think like if you can find a secret gem, somebody nobody else trusted,
Yeah.
but you can trust, then you will gain extra points. But at the same time, you know, investing is hard because founders are confusing bunch and some of their pitches are, let's say, abstract. They include deep learning. And Rosalia. So when you're not sure, it always helps to have somebody else to discuss it with.
Yeah.
So after all this time, which by the way, we didn't put the timer on, but it was there.
Investors have also 1 minute, up to 1 minute and a half to discuss, basically.
So then each investor, in this case I'm the green investor,
And then this one will invest in 1.
the yellow one would invest.
In two, because he likes to take risky actions.
Exactly.
Right?
Every investor has invested,
Yeah.
and we're ready to count points, right?
Nice.
So we flip everything. This is exciting.
Yeah.
So now we just show everything.
Yeah.
Founder number 3 was a crook.
Founder number 4, which was blue, was a reliable founder.
And we know because it's 2 cards or 1 card.
And a picture card. And I was a reliable founder.
Yes.
Hope you voted for me, by the way. No, just kidding. Well,
Well, you know,
we'll see,
I
we'll
hope
see.
I don't have to sleep on the sofa, so I probably did.
The black one was investor, the yellow one was investor, and
And those are the founders. Okay.
there we are.
So then, who got investment?
I was here pink. Since I didn't vote for the founder who got the most investment, which in this case would be 2 founders, so founder number 1 and founder number 2, I wouldn't get the 2 points that I would have gotten
Yeah.
otherwise.
But this folk, blue,
Blue,
voted for number 1, and number 1 got 2 investments.
so he gets 2 points, sorry.
The other way,
around.
yeah.
Yeah.
The board is a bit confusing. It's important to note that we start on 12 because it is possible to lose points and therefore go backward.
Yeah.
And we wanted to make sure that you can go backward from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Great. So then we said founder number 1 was reliable.
I'm reliable.
So both green and yellow invested there and they each get 6 points. Yoo-hoo, I'm winning! Then black and green voted, so invested in founder number 2. Founder number 2, as we saw, was a crook.
Yeah.
So lose 6 points.
There we are. Not winning anymore. See? You're like.
Yep, that's true, not winning much. And then last investment, yellow 3. 3 is gray.
3
crook.
is break. Crook also loses 6 points.
Yep.
So
two,
it's
12.
always 6 points regardless of the number of
Yes,
players.
always 6 points.
For the investors, they can either lose them or win them if they invest in
Yep.
reliable, and lose them if they invest in crooks. But also they can win up to how many extra points? That depends on the number of players,
Yeah.
right? If they invest alone. So what would be an example? For example,
So for,
say you
for
have
7 players,
yeah,
if let's say yellow invested alone in founder number 3, if founder number 3 had been good,
yeah,
they would have gotten 6 points,
yeah.
and then an extra 2 points because we are on an odd number of players.
Okay, perfect. And even would have amounted to
3.
3. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Let's get back to
To scoring.
scoring. Yeah,
I'm gonna go first. I was founder number 1.
you got 2 investments.
I get investment for having been invested on by 2 founders.
Yes.
That would mean that I get 2 points of investment because I'm reliable for the first investment, and then how many extra?
1 more.
1 extra point
Because you
for
have
the second investment.
correct
Each extra investment would mean an
1
extra
extra point.
point.
And then number 2, founder number 2, Orange, is a crook.
Orange is a crook, that's right.
Got an investment, so 3 points
3
because crooks
points.
get more points. It's harder for them to get investment.
Yeah.
And then an extra point because
Second investment.
and then 3, which is gray, is a crook
Yeah.
and got
3
3
points.
points on investment.
And no extra investment, so no extra.
Exactly.
There we are.
And then we will
Orange
be done.
is beating us.
Yep. Obviously, in this round, I mean, we made it randomly, but
Yeah.
in this round,
It should work better than this.
investors just invested randomly,
Yeah.
which generally benefits founders. It doesn't matter whether they're good or bad, everybody gets
Yeah.
benefits, but bad investors just either stay put or even lose a bunch.
And I don't know if we're missing something vital. Oh yeah, the special cards.
All the special cards, thank you.
Yeah.
So now it sucks to be black, right?
Yeah. It's special cards only come into play after round 3, I think, after turn 3, right?
That's what we said.
But-
Yeah.
So after we have played this first round, would be turning the wheel 1 slot. So now I would be investor,
Yeah. And then let's say this is what happened.
and then
On the third round,
yes,
Mr. Black will now have access to a special card. See, we have blue and green special cards, and they depend on the role. So since Black is an investor, they would get 1 card from the blue deck.
yeah.
And how was it? Some of them were secret, some of them were not?
Yeah, so investor cards are secret,
Uh-huh.
and founder cards have to be displayed basically.
Okay.
And it's supposed to help you out a bit, or also make the deliberation session a bit more complicated because you might have your own vested interests that may be clashing with everybody else's interests and stuff like that.
So it is a little bit like creating chaos and politics.
Yeah.
Even
basically.
beyond the normal?
Yeah, but it's only 1 card after the third round,
Okay.
and only for the person that is last in the scoreboard. So it's
What
not
happens
meant
if
for
there's 2
everyone.
people that are tied?
They would both get 1 special card. So if
So
both,
1 each?
Yes,
Okay.
if both are founders,
That's
1
fair.
founder card each. If both investors, 1 investor card each, or founder and investor card.
I think I got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And when does the game end then?
That's a good question. Well, I hope people don't get bored and then they play to the end. And I guess it says end here, so I'm pretty sure if somebody gets here, that's
the
a
game
winner.
ends, yeah,
Uh-huh.
there you are. And how is there another way to end the game?
Yes, there is. So, we know that the world is not fair and startups are not fair, but our game is fair. And for it to be fair, we needed to make sure that everybody had the same opportunity to play every role.
Yeah,
So then the game would, remember we started, so this is where we started, this was round 1.
yeah,
Turn 3, we introduced the special cards here.
yeah.
4,
We might want to put some arrow in the wheel so that people
yeah.
know which way to turn them. But yeah,
supposed to be clockwise, but we do it wrong like half.
that's one of the suggestions that you can fill and
Yeah.
put in the give us feedback box. No, just kidding.
Yeah, we do have a feedback box in the website.
But-
Use it.
But but you should play it at least once before you don't get overly excited with it.
Yeah, we've had some assholes who didn't even want to try the game.
No, just kidding.
But it's
Everybody
okay.
has been very nice so far. I'm not just kidding.
That's bullshit.
No. Regardless.
Uh-huh.
So as soon as I
get
reach
here.
this state, so everybody has played each roll once.
Yeah, it's positioning the wheel basically.
Yeah, basically. Then the game would
Yeah.
end.
So we would never
after-
repeat, right? Right
No.
before moving here.
Exactly.
So
At the
finish
end
this
of
turn.
this turn,
Okay,
the
perfect.
game would end. You would count all the points, and
And then we would assume that I'm here and I won.
there you go. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.
And I hope you join us next game session to
Yeah.
play this wonderful game we've made.
We're super proud of it. We know there's still more development and testing to make, so
Yeah.
we would love for people to join.
Yeah.
It's Wednesdays in the afternoon and Sundays also in the afternoon a bit earlier. All
And
right.
thank you very much for watching.
Thank you,
See
guys.
you there.
Bye.